The Camaro Zl1 1LE is officially dead.
D-E-D.
2024 Zl1 1LE. If you got an order in for a ZLE, it's not going to happen. I'm here to bring you the information that GM's not willing to tell you, but I'll go ahead and speak it. Let's do this. Guys, if you find this video helpful in any way at all, you just want to see a ZL1 or the Gen 6 Camaro continue on, please like, sub, and comment to help get this video out. It's greatly appreciated. Let's start this video. The Camaro Zl1 1LE came out in 2018. DSSV dampeners, aggressive styling, carbon fiber wing, more aggressive aero than any other Camaro that's ever been seen, if I have to say so myself, and just mean stylage. What you're looking up here is not a Zl1 1LE.
That motherfucker back there is not real.
And if you could spot the difference on hand, well, good for you. But we're gonna go into kind of these details and what's going on. Now, first of all, since 2021, the Zl1 1LE has been on extremely heavy constraints. We all knew about the chip shortages and production shortages that have been hitting Camaros, and all Camaros, honestly, were quite difficult to get a hold of. However, the Zl1 1LE was even on stronger constraint, and it's always been. There's people out there with orders that have been sitting for 1 to 2 years, and just now their dealers are calling them and telling them, hey, you're not getting the Zl1 1LE. Maybe we could do a ZL1 for you, maybe, but you got to remove the 1LE option. And a big part of this has been because of the carbon fiber used in the spoiler. Now, GM has certain contracts with certain companies to be able to produce certain products of carbon fiber as well as everything else. Well, the guys that make the carbon fiber spoiler, we don't know the exact details, but it looks like they have folded or they have lost contacts or they've had such a hard time getting that carbon fiber that nothing's really come to it. So the remaining carbon fiber spoilers are going to be moved over to the collector's edition cars, which we know they're only building about 300 of these. So we know that there's only a few left and GM is looking to maximize their value. Well, the value doesn't come from the Zl1 1LE, it comes from collector's edition cars that cost, well, honestly, $15,000 to add a collector's edition on it. The SS1LEs have been constrained too, but not as bad as the Zl1 1LEs. Now, this is part of GM's streamlining process. They recently gave plans to lay off quite a bit of teams because they're going to streamline, remove trims, and remove options. And I think it's hitting the Camaro as soon as it can. It makes sense that they're looking at volume orders, LT1s, 2SSs, 1SSs. They're trying to get those cars sold because that brings the most volume for them. SS1LE, ZL1s, Zl1 1LEs aren't huge volume cars for them. They don't sell a ton of them. So it doesn't make sense for them to keep concentrating on it. Now, I disagree with this, but from a financial standpoint, that's how GM sees this, unfortunately, I know. Now, the 2024 configurator has gone live on the website, so you can go to Chevrolet.com and look through the options, and if you go to build yourself a Camaro ZL1, you're going to notice something. The Extreme Track package, which is the 1LE package, is now totally missing. That's right. So you can go in there and add the Zl1 1LE wheels, or you can go in there and add a hood wrap or some options and it'll turn into what this is at this point, but it's not a 1LE. So that makes you go, what's going on? Well, guys, you cannot build a Zl1 1LE for 2024. GM has been calling their customers and telling them if you have an order sitting for one, go ahead and call your end customer and let them know to cancel it or switch it over to a ZL1 because we don't have confidence we're going to be able to build it. And they're showing that. Now, this is a car that I built on GM's website and I added the Zl1 1LE wheels. When you do that, it adds the carbon fiber spoiler, which has been the hard thing to get, right? So it's kind of goofy. It adds the matte hood, which is part of the ZL or the 1LE packages, even for the SS. It adds the dampeners that are the Zl1 1LE dampeners, but what you don't see is the front fascia. This is a Zl1 front fascia, not a ZLE front fascia. It's missing the bigger front lip, it's missing the different grille insert, it's missing the front canards. This is the most closest you can get to a Zl1 1LE. Now, This actually looks very familiar to the collector's edition Camaro minus the paint job. That's exactly the same thing, the Panther, without a Panther logo and without the matte black paint that they're coming out with. So this is the closest you can get. It's clear to me that GM is streamlining their process. They're getting rid of the leftovers that are sitting around and kind of, yeah, building parts bin cars. It's kind of tough to say that, I know, but I think it's true. Some of you can say that, oh, this is just a mistake. GM didn't mean to do this. They just posted it out and didn't think about it. Well, you got to keep in consideration, since 2018, they've had the correct images out. They had it all the way up till 2023. They had the canards and the ZLE front end. So somebody had to go and put extended effort to actually make it a non-1LE Camaro. And now this will happen in any color that you put it. This is the new yellow that has come out, and I really like this color, if I'm completely honest. I've seen a lot going around the internet. It's beautiful, but you're not getting it on a 1LE, and a matter of fact, you're not getting a 1LE. I'm sorry to say that, guys, but the ZL1 1LE is officially dead. You can't get the red brake calipers, but if you add the red brake calipers, it takes away all these other options. You're not getting a 1LE package. So if you want to get a Camaro, now is the time. Try to grab one. If you're trying to get a ZLE, you're gonna have to find what's left in shipping, and it's very dwindled down for the 23s. Now there's one last thing that's really gonna put the nail in the coffin for the 6th gen Camaro, and it's just like almost a joke at this time to Camaro enthusiasts, to GM enthusiasts. Well, there's a strike looming for auto manufacturers, and they've already voted unanimously to strike and stop building in September if they don't get their demands. Now, of course, this is all in part of, like, you know, being able to make enough money to put food on the table for their family. And if I'm completely honest, I support them. I think people should be paid a fair wage for what they do, and good for them for striking and standing up for themselves. However, it's a horrible time and it bites us in the ass. So hopefully they can resolve this very soon. But if they strike in September, the last Camaros were off the line in January. It's only a 6-month period, and we have a strike. That's going to set the builds back that much more, and they're going to be that much harder to get. And this could be the official nail in the coffin for the 6th gen Camaro. Chances are that GM extends the build date and plans is pretty much like nothing. They're not going to do that. They're at this point taking the last pieces, building the last cars, putting out the very last thing, and moving on with what they plan to do. For such a amazing car that they have built and put out, they did not market it. They didn't bring it the proper attention. A lot of people don't even know about the ZL1 1LE, and very few people really understand how track capable the ZL1 in itself is. I could tell you how many people don't even know that Camaros can handle. Imagine if they put out some marketing that showed such the strong track capabilities of these cars and how well they handled on a back road and straight lines, and they could kind of do it all. But they didn't. They just dropped the ball on some of the best made cars to ever come out of Detroit. And I'm saying that comparing it to Dodge. I'm saying that comparing it to Ford. These are some of the greatest cars ever built to come out of GM. So guys, with that said, the ZL1 1LE is officially dead. GM won't actually come out and say this, and you're probably sitting there going, well, if they can't do it, then why can't they come out and say that they're not making them anymore? Well, that comes down to a few things. One is stocks, and two is stakeholders, which are kind of the same thing. If you come out there and you have products that you have out, and then you start stripping away the products, well, when you do quarterly reports and you have to report to the stakeholders, which are people that are interested in the company, they have financial interest in the company, they are people that hold stocks, well, the stock value goes down. GM's not interested in devaluing themselves. They'll come out and say, hey, we may not be able to do this, and let the dealers know, like, hey, stop doing this, but they're not going to come out with like an official statement because it'll devalue their stocks. So they don't have an interest to do that. They have a better interest in just kind of dissolving it until January when it's gone and done. And if they find some stuff lying around or get lucky, they'll build those other cars. Now, if they do that with the ZLE, it's not going to come to guys like me and you. It's going to go to really high level, big companies that have a lot of, well, for one, money, but also appearance in the industry. So you might see, you know, one of the highest volume dealers get the last one. However, right now, it doesn't look like anybody's getting a ZL1 1LE, and if you have an order for one, go ahead and cancel it, because most likely your dealer can't get it and they're probably just stringing you along. If it's not being built, if it's not accepted by production yet, then chances are you're not getting it. If you're building a ZL1, remove the carbon fiber spoiler wing option, because that's what's holding the ZLEs back, and it always has been. But it's just what it is, guys, at this point. I mean, we're lucky to be still getting amazing V8 vehicles. I think Ford's gonna probably sell a ton of Mustangs. And, you know, seeing the S650 comes out lately, they actually look pretty good, guys. They're cool cars, but they don't hold a candle to the 6th gen Camaro, and I think we know that. So I'm sad to see this. I'm sad to say, but, you know, if we could get that message out there that we want a 7th gen V8, please like, sub and comment. It would help get this video out there and show that there's still a lot of enthusiasm from all of us to buy V8 Camaros. Because I could say, for one, if a 7th gen V8 Camaro comes out, I will buy one. If it comes out as an electric, I won't buy one. Sorry to say that, GM, but you know, we're looking, the whole world's watching, and we're trying to see what you can do. But with that said, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video and kind of give a hats off to the guys with the ZL1 1LEs, and really anybody with a 6th gen Camaro. Hats off to you, man. You have a great car, and I'd say you should really hold on to it if it's something you enjoy and it brings you joy, because other cars aren't really going to hold up to it. That said, I'm Hot 1LE. You guys have a good one.